SiriusXM present Western Sports Roundup with your hosts, Amy Wilson and Steve Kenyon.
Welcome to Western Sports Roundup. Merry Christmas, everybody. Glad you've joined us. It is Wednesday, December the 25th, Christmas Day. And God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for giving us a little bit of time. The theme of today's show is giving. Professional rodeo, we talk about this a lot on this show. A lot of what happens in professional rodeo is dedicated toward charity. The Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association sends out a press release every week. And at the bottom of the press release are some interesting statistics about what the PRCA offers. Not just the top talent in professional rodeo, not just the top rodeos in professional rodeo, not just the best fan experience, but as a membership-based organization with over 700 sanctioned rodeos in 2019, more than 40 million fans across the United States will attend professional rodeos. And more than $40 million in charitable contributions are made by the rodeo committees locally and nationally that are involved in producing professional rodeos. It is a great story. Today, we're going to talk about those rodeo committees, and we're taking you across the country. From San Antonio, Texas, to Gary, New York, to Gunnison, Colorado. And as the week goes along, we'll continue to focus on some of the great events that are taking place. We'll talk to Vince Jenko from Clovis, California later this week. They just gave $20,000 to a local children's hospital in their area. Not only does professional rodeo give back to charities in the community, but frequently professional rodeo athletes are called upon to give back. This is Western Sports Roundup on Rural Radio and on the SiriusXM app. I'm Steve Kenyon. Thank you for joining us. We want to invite you to join us at RFD TV's The American, March 7th and 8th, AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas, and at Rodeo New York, June 19th, 20th, and 21st. Madison Square Garden, New York City. Haven't seen a rodeo in decades. RFD TV and the Cowboy Channel are bringing it back on June 19th, 20th, and 21st. Go to RodeoNewYork.com. Go to AmericanRodeo.com. Get your tickets. And we will see you either in Arlington, Texas, or at Madison Square Garden, or both, for the American and for Rodeo New York. Had a chance to catch up with Heidi Bogart. Heidi is from the Gunnison Cattlemen's Days Rodeo in Gunnison, Colorado. The website is cattlemensdays.com. Rodeo takes place right after the 4th of July every year, and this year they have big events scheduled beginning right after the 4th of July. The schedule includes their annual Tough Enough to Wear Pink auction and concert, and that will be on Tuesday, July the 7th. The rodeo starts on Thursday, July the 9th. But this rodeo has raised over $3 million as we talk about charitable giving for the Tough Enough to Wear Pink program. It's the single largest fundraiser Tough Enough to Wear Pink has in the rodeo industry every year. Heidi Bogart told us about it.
Yes, we are the week after. Our Tough Enough to Wear Pink rodeo will be on July 9th this year, and our concert and auction is on the 7th.
Right. Let's talk about that. If we're talking about, I really wanted to focus with this holiday season of giving upon us on how much rodeos give back. Gunnison, Colorado is the #1 and has been for a number of years fundraising rodeo every year for the Tough Enough to Wear Pink program. Is that correct?
It is correct. This is, I believe, our 4th year being #1.
And so, how much does that amount to dollar-wise?
So total fundraising since 2005 is $3,185,000.
Wow.
And then in 2019, we had a record breaker of $517,000.
Wow. Y'all take this kind of seriously.
We do. This community really embraces Tough Enough to Wear Pink, and this community is who to thank for all of the success. That and Dean Dillon, who has been bringing in songwriters for our concert and auction, which is one of our biggest fundraisers of the year in July.
Tell me about that. You mentioned you have the concert, which is a couple of days prior to the start of the rodeo. Is that where most of this money comes from every year?
Most of it is raised at the concert and auction, which is 2 days before the rodeo starts. The other most significant fundraiser is the Mountain High Music Festival, which actually takes place in January over Martin Luther King weekend in Mount Custer Butte. That is also Dean Dillon's fundraiser, and we're charity partners for that, and that is our second biggest fundraiser. This year we have Luke Combs coming, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, when is that?
That is Martin Luther King weekend, January 15, I believe. That through the 17th.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Martin Luther King weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know the date off the top of my head, but it's that.
Yeah. So how did y'all get so involved in this Toughen Up to Wear Pink program? And I want to talk about some of the specifics. I want to talk about the truck and some of those things. But tell me, where was the motivation? Was there one person, or was there one driving force, or was there one individual who you helped to do something good for? How did this come about?
Well, there's a lot of good stories to how this became such a success. It all started with the Cattlemen's Days Committee, Rodeo Committee, wanting to bring Tough Enough to Wear Pink into our rodeo the year after Tough Enough to Wear Pink was founded by Terry Wheatley.
Right.
We had a local woman who was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she touched a lot of people's lives, and so that was sort of the motivation to bring Tough Enough to Wear Pink to our valley. That year, we raised a little bit of money, and it was a great thing to bring on. The following year, one of the big people who was instrumental in bringing it to the Gunnison area was a man named Jimmy Clark, and he was actually killed at a high school rodeo in Denver, working the bull chutes for the high school rodeo. And when he was killed in this accident, Dean Dillon at that point stepped up and said he would do a concert to help raise money for Tough Enough to Wear Pink, because that was one of Jimmy Clark's big passions. And that year, he brought in some songwriters from Nashville, and it just took off after that. The concert and auction has just been an incredible success since that point. He brings in some big-name people, up-and-coming songwriters, who all donate their time to come here. And the concert just continues to be a success every year, and it's become something that the locals and the second homeowners who live in this valley look forward to and plan their trips around, and we're very lucky.
The Tough Enough to Wear Pink, famous Cattlemen's Days Tough Enough to Wear Pink concert and auction this year is on Tuesday, July the 7th, I should say. Then the rodeo starts on Thursday, July the 9th, and that is the Tough Enough to Wear Pink performance. You folks have a truck. And I forget the whole story of the truck. I remember seeing pictures. It's like a pink truck that you're able to do some things with for folks in the community, right?
Yes. So we have actually two now. So it started out, we had two people that we were connected to that were going through breast cancer. One in particular was a young 20-year-old who did not have a vehicle. She was going through intense chemotherapy and had to go to Denver. She was taking the public transportation to Denver.
How far is it from Gunnison to Denver?
About 5 hours.
Oh, my God.
And so she, with her immune system being, at risk with her chemotherapy, was on a public transportation. And then we had another person who was doing radiation therapy every day for 6 weeks, who was hitchhiking to Montrose, which is the closest place to get radiation, which is about an hour and a half from here, in the winter. And we found out about these two situations, and we decided that this was unacceptable and that we needed to provide transportation for these people who needed it to get to their appointments out of our valley. We live in a rural community. We have a great hospital, but it's limited in what it can provide. And so we came up with the idea to buy the Ram truck, which we call Tuffy. And that truck can be checked out by people who need it to drive to wherever they need to in the state to get the treatments that they need. And so that was such a success, and it became so well used that we ended up needing another vehicle. We had a donor come up and say we would like to purchase another vehicle. So we did purchase a Durango, and that Durango is named Bucky. And so both of those vehicles are traveling all over the state, getting people safely to where they need to go.
The website of the Gunnison Cattlemen's Days Rodeo is cattlemensdays.com. We're talking with Heidi Bogart from Gunnison, Colorado, and the Gunnison Cattlemen's Days Rodeo. We're talking about all the professional rodeo in the world of Western sports and Western lifestyle gives back on this Christmas Day. We will continue with Heidi Bogart. On the other side of this timeout, you're listening to Western Sports Roundup.
More power.
thanks for joining us on Western Sports Roundup, talking to Heidi Bogart from the Gunnison Cattlemen Days Rodeo in Gunnison, Colorado. Our theme on this Christmas Day is giving back, and the amount that professional rodeo contributes. And as I said earlier, there's 700 rodeos in the PRCA or more, plus all of the other regional events, plus, you even get into all of the other Western sports events that take place across the country. So many of them have a cause. So many of them have something that they give to, whether it's improvements to the local fairgrounds or scholarship opportunities or Tough Enough to Wear Pink. Coming up in the next segment, we'll talk to Tom Atwell from Gary, New York, where the rodeo there is basically put on and the major fundraiser of the year for the fire department in Gary, New York. We'll get into all that coming up. But I wanted to continue with Heidi Bogart right now and talk about the Gunnison Cattlemen Days Rodeo. Gunnison, Colorado, and you can go to cattlemensdays.org and get, or cattlemensdays.com, I should say, and get all the details about everything in Gunnison. The annual Tough Enough to Wear Pink auction and concert is July the 7th. The rodeo starts July the 9th and continues all the way through July the 12th in Gunnison, Colorado. You can get all the details on the website. I asked Heidi to tell us about her hometown.
Gunnison is a beautiful community. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere. We're far away from any major city. We have a great history of ranching community in the Gunnison area, and then our north end of the valley is the Crested Butte ski area. So it's a really unique, diverse community with a lot of really great history. And the population here, we do have a lot of part-time homeowners who definitely contribute to our success. They are very involved in this small community. They come from bigger areas, and I think they feel a unique connection when they're here, and so that has transferred to a great success for our Tough Enough to Wear Pink program. It's the kind of place that everybody takes care of each other. It truly is. It's very special, and nobody really understands it until they come here, and we try to get people to come to our event just to feel that room at that moment. And we've had, executives from Wrangler, and we had Carl Strussman out here from the PRCA, and we've had Wrangler Network came out and covered it, and everyone that comes here that experiences Cowboy Lifestyles Network came out. They all walk away saying, "This is unbelievable. We can't even describe this." It's this family connected thing that you can't understand till you feel it, but once you do, it's just, you can't walk away from it, and it truly makes the Tough Enough to Wear Pink group a huge family, and the community rallies behind this. Like I said, everybody's in pink during that week, and I have little, small businesses that are raising money on their own to give to pink. It's indescribable. We're so blessed, and it's because of the people here. This community is next level special. It's
pretty obvious you kind of love your hometown.
Yes, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Yeah. It's really cold in the winter, but it's worth living here to get through
that Mountain High
beautiful summers.
That Mountain High Music Festival we talked about at Crested Butte is January 16th through the 18th at Mount Crested Butte, Colorado. And then the Gunnison Cattlemen Days Rodeo, cattlemensdays.com is the website. The Tough Enough to Wear Pink concert and auction is on July the 7th, and the rodeo starts July the 9th and continues through Sunday, July the 12th. Please tell me I got all the dates right. I'm looking at the website.
Yes, that is correct.
Awesome. Folks want to come. Tickets go on sale when?
So tickets for Mountain High Music Festival are on sale now, but tickets for the July event will go on sale mid-May, usually about May 15th. We should know who's coming for our concert usually early February. So we make that announcement, and then we put tickets on sale right about the beginning of May, mid-May.
Awesome. More than $3 million has been raised for Tough Enough to Wear Pink, and you're going to add another giant check. I've got a funny feeling to it this year. Terry Wheatley must love you people. the folks at Tough Enough to Wear Pink must love you guys.
Terry Wheatley is an incredible woman.
She is.
And her vision, truly, the way the world is now, to give to a nonprofit organization where all the money stays in the community that raises it is pretty special. And especially these rural communities that we really do need, we were contributing quite a bit to our local hospital. The latest piece of equipment we purchased was the highest level 3D tomosynthesis machine for the highest level mammography. And I mean, we're one of two in the state, I believe. And it was a, $385,000 machine that we purchased for our hospital. And it's saving lives every day, literally. And we're very proud. And Terry Wheatley is just an incredible woman with an amazing vision, and we're so grateful for her for coming up with this great idea.
Yeah. All that money that's raised stays in the local communities where it's raised, and that's the awesome part about it. I appreciate your time, Heidi. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas and continued success in Gunnison.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas to you, and thank you.
Cattlemen'sDays.com is the website for the Gunnison Cattlemen Days Rodeo. That's July 9th through the 12th. A big concert and auction July the 7th. Gunnison, Colorado, one of the prettiest places you'll ever go. Take a time out. When we come back, we'll head across the country. Tell you about the rodeo in Gary, New York.